Before we get into the coolers themselves, let me ask you something. How often does a trip get better simply because your cooler performs exactly the way you hoped it would? From ice that lasts longer than expected to food that stays fresh all day, the right cooler can quietly elevate the entire outdoor experience. In this video, we're taking a detailed, real-world look at what truly separates the best outdoor coolers from the rest, focusing on how they actually feel and perform when you use them. Honestly, I'm super interested to hear what you personally look for most in an outdoor cooler, whether it's ice retention, weight, or just ease of use, so feel free to share that as you're watching. And by the way, if you're curious, links to the current prices for each cooler are waiting in the description box below. We'll start with the ENGEL 60-quart ultra-light injection molded cooler, a model that immediately makes an impression through its balance of size and usability. When you lift it for the first time, you notice how much lighter it feels than many large hard coolers, yet it still feels solid and well built. This is due to its injection molded construction, which allows ENGEL to reduce overall weight while maintaining structural strength. With a true 60-quart internal capacity, you have room for multi-day food storage, large quantities of drinks, and ice without feeling like you're cramming items into tight corners. As you use the ENGEL outdoors, the insulation quietly does its job, maintaining cold temperatures over long stretches of time. Ice melts gradually rather than rapidly, and the interior temperature remains stable even during warm days. The interior shape is straightforward and practical, making it easy for you to organize contents efficiently, whether you're packing for a fishing trip or a long weekend at camp. Carrying the cooler feels more manageable than you'd expect for this capacity. The proportions are well thought out, so even when it's fully loaded, it doesn't feel awkward or unwieldy. This is especially noticeable when moving it from a vehicle to a campsite or dock, where lighter weight can make a real difference over repeated trips. Over time, you come to appreciate how consistently it performs without demanding attention. It becomes the kind of cooler you rely on without thinking about it, which is exactly what many people are looking for when researching great outdoor coolers that fit naturally into their outdoor routine. Moving on to the next cooler, the Ninja FB 151 BL FrostVault 50-quart hard cooler introduces a noticeably different approach to cold storage. As soon as you open it, the dual-zone layout changes how you think about packing. The FrostVault system includes a dedicated dry storage drawer that stays cold without direct contact with ice, allowing you to separate food that needs to stay dry from beverages stored below. When you use this cooler throughout the day, that separation becomes especially valuable. You can slide open the dry drawer and access sandwiches, snacks, or produce without digging through ice or dealing with wet packaging. Cold air from the ice chamber below circulates naturally, keeping the upper compartment chill while maintaining a clear distinction between wet and dry storage. If you've ever dealt with soggy food in a cooler, I'm genuinely curious if a setup like this would actually change how you pack for trips. Let me know honestly what you think. The insulation and lid seal work together to maintain a consistently cold interior. Even with frequent opening and closing, temperatures remain stable enough to preserve both drinks and food comfortably. This makes the FrostVault particularly appealing for family outings, beach days, and tailgates, where access is frequent and organization matters. As you transport and position the cooler, it feels sturdy and well balanced, designed for regular outdoor use rather than occasional trips. It's a cooler that prioritizes usability and thoughtful design, fitting naturally into broader outdoor coolers reviews that focus on real-world convenience rather than just raw ice retention. Next, let's move to the Igloo BMX Cooler Insulated Hard Shell Ice Chest, a cooler that emphasizes durability and practical design. When you first handle it, the hard shell construction gives it a rugged feel that inspires confidence, especially for environments like campsites, riverbanks, or crowded tailgates. It feels tough, without being overly bulky, which makes it approachable for everyday use. One feature you'll notice in actual use is the elevated base, which helps reduce heat transfer from hot ground surfaces. This design detail contributes to more consistent cooling performance over time, particularly when the cooler is placed on pavement or dry ground in direct sun. The insulation works steadily to slow ice melt and keep contents cold throughout long days outdoors. Opening and closing the lid feels smooth and secure, and the seal helps trap cold air effectively. Inside, the space is well proportioned, giving you flexibility to pack a mix of food and drinks without awkward gaps or wasted space. It's easy to load, easy to access, and easy to clean afterward. In use, the Igloo BMX feels like a dependable workhorse. It's a cooler that does exactly what you expect it to do, making it a strong option in any honest outdoor coolers comparison, focused on reliability and ease of use. Now let's turn to the Arctic Ultra Light 52 Quart Hard Cooler, a model designed to reduce physical strain without sacrificing cooling performance. When you pick it up, the lighter weight is immediately noticeable, especially compared to traditional hard coolers of similar size. This lighter feel comes from its injection molded design, which allows for reduced mass while still delivering solid insulation. During extended use, the cooler maintains cold temperatures over multiple days, even with regular access. Ice lasts longer than you might expect for such a lightweight design, and drinks stay consistently cold throughout the day. The 52-quart capacity gives you plenty of space for group outings while remaining compact enough to transport comfortably. The lid closes with a firm seal that helps keep cold air inside, and over time, you notice how stable the internal temperature remains. Food stays fresh, drinks remain cold, and moisture buildup is well controlled, making the cooler easy to manage across longer trips. What really stands out is how often you end up using it simply because it's easier to carry. That convenience makes it a practical choice among top-rated outdoor coolers, especially for people who value performance without excessive weight. Finally, we come to the YETI Tundra 45, a cooler that has built its reputation on consistent long-term performance. From the moment you interact with it, everything feels deliberate. The rotomolded construction gives it a solid, unified feel, and the thick insulated walls signal that temperature control is a top priority. In real-world conditions, the insulation works steadily to slow ice melt and maintain cold temperatures over extended periods. Whether you're accessing it occasionally or opening it frequently throughout the day, the interior stays reliably cold. The 45-quart size is particularly well suited for weekend trips, offering ample space without becoming cumbersome. Carrying and positioning the cooler feels natural thanks to its balanced proportions. It sits securely in vehicles and feels stable when placed on uneven ground outdoors. The lid opens smoothly and closes with a reassuring firmness that reinforces its overall sense of durability and thoughtful engineering. Everything about the experience feels refined, from the way the lid seals to how confidently the cooler holds its temperature throughout the day. Over time, the YETI Tundra 45 becomes a piece of gear you instinctively trust. You stop thinking about ice management or whether your food will stay cold and instead focus on the moments around you, whether that's a quiet morning at camp or a long afternoon by the water. It's a cooler that earns its place through consistency, making it a familiar reference point in many outdoor coolers reviews and often mentioned when people talk about best outdoor coolers for dependable long-term use. To wrap things up, each of these coolers brings a distinct strength to the table, from lightweight portability and smart internal organization to rugged construction and time-tested insulation. Together, they offer a clear picture of what's available today if you're researching great outdoor coolers that suit different outdoor lifestyles. Before you head out, I'm genuinely curious which of these coolers feels like the best fit for how you actually spend time outdoors and why. So honestly, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And in case you're interested, you'll find links to the current prices for each of these products in the description box below, making it easy to continue your own outdoor coolers comparison whenever you're ready.